Episode 9 begins with Young-ho taking out the handkerchief and telling Kim to arrest him because he is the killer. Kim feels deeply hurt, but he still arrests Young-ho, fulfilling his duty. Seeing this, the other officers are shocked, wondering why Kim is arresting their own team leader. Later, Kim interrogates him. At first, he tries to stay composed, formally asking for his name and address. But he can't hold himself back for long and directly tell that he didn't want the team leader to be the killer despite all the evidence pointing at him. Young-ho then confesses that he indeed killed everyone over the last 10 years and that he was the one who sent the puzzles to Aina. Kim asks why he did all this. Young-ho says to call the press, then he'll reveal everything to them. Kim also asks why Young-ho surrendered even though 3 people are still alive. To this, Young-ho replies that he's tired now and doesn't want to continue anymore. Meanwhile, the commander and captain both find it hard to believe that Young-ho killed Dong-hun. The other officers go to search Young-ho's registered home and there they find some teenage kids living there. Aina then comes to talk to Young-ho and tells him that for 10 years, she had a feeling she could be the killer, but now, she got to see the real killer. She asks if he really killed her uncle. Young-ho accepted it. She also asks why, when he was standing behind her, he didn't kill her. She tries to observe his eyes closely. Young-ho doesn't answer further and again says to call press, he'll reveal everything. The officers discuss Young-ho's childhood. When he was 5, his father died and his mother abandoned him. After that, he grew up in an orphanage and had no relatives. Aina notices that Kim seems emotional. Detective reveals that Young-ho was not living at his registered address, but some teenage kids. The detective tells them that after turning 18, kids had to leave the orphanage and Young-ho turned his own house into a shelter for such kids. Captain then points out that, so far, they have found no evidence in the case, and a confession alone won't hold up in court. The officers discuss why Young-ho wants to call the press and even wonder what's the worst that could happen if they call the press. Then Kim comes again for the interrogation and asks Young-ho why he did it because he cannot understand Young-ho's motive. But Young-ho remains silent. Then Kim reminds him of Young-ho's first day, when he had seen the victim's photo at the gate and asked for the victim's name after coming inside and said, "Let's not forget the victim," and expresses disbelief that this is the same person. He says he can't believe Young-ho did this. Young-ho tells him not to complicate the situation further and to call the press. Then Kim asks him for his actual address, and Young-ho tells him the name of the motel he's staying at. Aina goes to the motel, which is very congested. After entering the room, she sees many photos of Young-ho with children. In a box, she finds many pictures of children who had written thank you notes to Young-ho, saying that because of him, they made it this far. She also notices a fish there, which she takes home. At home, Kim is emotionally disturbed and doesn't want to talk to anyone. Aina places the fish in front of him and tells him that this is the fish Young-ho wanted to feed. She tells him what she saw at Young-ho's place, the pictures and the thank you notes from the children. Kim is very hurt and confused, unable to understand why Young-ho is doing this. He starts believing Young-ho is not the real killer but is just acting to protect someone. Aina then asks Kim if he has ever visited the orphanage that Young-ho used to donate to. They both go there and meet the manager, who grew up in the same orphanage as Young-ho. The manager also finds it hard to believe that Young-ho could do something like this. He tells them Young-ho left the orphanage when he was 18. Aina asks when they reconnected and the manager says they met after Young-ho became a police officer. By then, Young-ho had changed into a very different person. Earlier, he was a kind and introverted boy, but after joining the police academy, he became a tough person. The manager reveals that Young-ho had a big reason for joining the police. He was trying to find someone. Kim asks who he was trying to find, but the manager refuses to say, saying it's private. Kim insists because 6 murders have already happened, but the manager still apologizes and doesn't tell. He adds that Young-ho used to support the orphanage and that the kids there look up to Young-ho as a role model. Kim then shows Young-ho the list of the children he was sponsoring and says that one of them might be the killer he is trying to protect. But Young-ho says he is not protecting anyone and that those children have nothing to do with the case. Kim becomes angry and demands to know which of them is the killer, but Young-ho still says nothing and just insists Kim should call the press. Kim tries to reason with him, saying that if Young-ho doesn't talk, 3 more murders might happen. Young-ho assures him that no more murder will happen. But Kim warns him that if someone dies now, the responsibility will fall on the team leader, and then he walks away. Kim tells the captain that Young-ho is not the killer, and Aina supports him. She says that when she told him when her uncle was murdered she was there, and Young-ho was shocked to hear it. She insists that Young-ho is a kind man who does so much for kids. How could he kill someone? He must be trying to distract them to protect someone else, and they need to find out who that person is. Kim then releases Young-ho from jail. He takes him outside, removes his handcuffs, and tells him they can't arrest him just on the basis of a confession. There's no proof against him, and every time a murder took place, Young-ho was somewhere else and CCTV confirmed that. Young-ho still pleads, saying that he has confessed and they should arrest him. But Kim tells him they are now going after the real killer and that Young-ho shouldn't come in the way. He gives him back his phone and tells him to stay away from the case. Young-ho goes back to the same motel where he was living. Detective San is following him and informs the police about his movements. We see Aina, who goes to meet Dr. Huang and asks him to go for a drive with her, but the doctor refuses, saying he already has plans. Still, Aina gets into his car. While they are driving, the doctor eventually asks her what she really wants. Aina then asks whether he knew her from before. The Dr. Huang replies that it was his senior who suggested him meet Aina. Aina, getting suspicious, asks whether he was made to meet her or if he was the one who wanted to meet her. Dr. Huang simply says that it was long ago and he doesn't remember. Aina then asks whether the child he once mentioned, the one who had darkness in his eyes, was actually himself or someone close to him. She explains that psychiatrists don't usually talk about patients' details and Dr. Huang seems to be focusing only on this one story. The doctor admits it was a mistake on his part and says he won't share stories about his patients anymore. He doesn't seem interested in continuing the conversation with Aina and doesn't want to share anything about his personal life. Then, he asks her where she wants to get off the car, and drops her off. Later, Aina is talking to Kim on the phone and asks whether Young-ho is going to make any move. Kim says Young-ho must know they're tracking him, but even then, he's bound to do something because the previous day, when they let him go, he seemed troubled as if his whole plan had been ruined. Aina finds it strange that Young-ho wanted to call for a press conference. She wonders what he intended to do with it. Just then, Kim receives a call from a detective San, who tells him that Young-ho has taken his car and gone somewhere, but they don't know the exact location. Kim immediately sets off to follow him. We then see Young-ho, who realizes the police are tracking him and he is heading somewhere. The detective San calls Kim to update him and shares his location. Kim is already on the move, trying to catch up. Then, we see 2 men, Mayor Kim Mo and Kwon, who is the city's law firm advisor. They arrive in the outer area of the city. Kwon is passionate about hunting and has come to hunt on his own land. He says he didn't just buy this land for hunting, but plans to build a highway over it later. They begin hunting and take a photo with a bird they just shot. Meanwhile, Young-ho arrives at the same place and enters the forest. Detective San is watching him from a distance and calls to inform Kim. As he follows Young-ho deeper into the woods, Young-ho suddenly sneaks up behind him, grabs his neck, and knocks him unconscious. He then takes his gun and moves ahead into the bushes. From his hiding spot, he sees Kwon and the killer who had pointed their gun at Kwon. Young-ho fires into the air to save Kwon from killer. But Kwon thinks that Young-ho has come to kill him, and he shoots Young-ho. That we see Kim arriving at the location, where he notices 4 cars parked. Suddenly, he hears the sound of gunfire and rushes into the bushes. There, he finds Young-ho, who has been shot. In a panic, Kim immediately calls for an ambulance and, deeply distressed, and Young-ho asks if he's still alive, referring to killer. Young-ho, barely conscious, starts talking about the killer, who is actually a victim. He says he tried hard to stop him. Kim asks which victim he's talking about, and then notices another man lying nearby. It's Kwon. Kim, in tears, asks Young-ho whom he was trying to protect, and whether he was really ready to give up his life for that person. Young-ho replies that all of this happened because of him. He started it all. He says all the people who were murdered were terrible people, and the kid was not at fault. Then, with his dying breath, Young-ho whispers the names Shindanga and Seo-jin and dies. Kim is devastated and keeps crying beside his body. Just then, other police officers arrive, and Aina also reaches the scene. She sees Young-ho's dead body being carried away. She then goes inside, where other officers are helping Detective San-wook. Ahead, she sees Kim again, who is visibly upset. He tells her that Young-ho wanted to tell something and he regrets not calling the press. If he had done that, maybe Young-ho would still be alive. He then shares Young-ho's last words with her, Shindanga, Seo-jin. Aina replies, once again, they got late. At the hospital, we see Kwon in critical condition being admitted. Meanwhile, Aina is searching for the meaning of Young-ho's final words, trying to find any link to the murder cases, but nothing concrete shows up. Some parts feel familiar to her, though. At the police station, officers are discussing Kwon. They mention that he's a prosecutor and has a passion for hunting, something the killer must have known. The captain asks how Young-ho found out the killer's location, and a detective explains that maybe Young-ho was tracking the killer, which is why the killer also took Young-ho's phone with him. The captain orders them to find the phone as soon as possible. They also inquire about the witness, and the detective says it was the mayor. He told them how Kwon mistook Young-ho for an attacker and tried to run away. Later, Kim visits Kwon at the hospital for his protection and sees that he is in stable condition. Meanwhile, all the officers watch the news and find out that the whole puzzle case has been leaked to the media. The commander gets angry and demands to know who released it. Aina, standing there, recalls when she had said that the killer probably wanted the attention on him, and that's exactly why Young-ho wanted the press involved. Aina realized this and released the news to the media on purpose, just as the killer had wanted. While Kim is still at the hospital, he receives a call from Aina. She tells him that another puzzle piece has been received. Kim is shocked, especially since Kwon is still alive, and runs inside to check. Kwon is still in stable condition, and Aina tells Kim to turn on the TV. On the TV, they see that the killer has sent the next puzzle piece to the press. As the media displays the puzzle, Kwon suddenly starts deteriorating. Despite efforts, he dies and the episode ends with this dramatic turn. Thanks for watching.